Yeah, it's about to go from us reading about these prophecies to us having to face everything that we ever feared. It's war. Can't hear what you can't see. You know what I mean? On one accord. Gird up. This moment you've been waiting for, huh? I got you. My helmet, my shield, my sword, it's war. My breastplate, my brothers on one accord. I'm waist deep in this truth. I gird my loins, my feet shod with that gospel of peace. But it's war. My helmet, my shield, my sword, it's war. My breastplate, my brothers on one accord. I'm waist deep in this truth. I gird my loins, my feet shod with that gospel of peace. But it's war. Whoa, 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 we going all of the way. They know a certain number gon' get sealed, so they talking to fate. Why they keep bothering Jake? This is the gospel of peace. Why they keep calling it hate? Maybe cause they can hardly relate. We got a lot on our plate. I'm too busy fighting these demons. I am not trying to debate. 4 horsemen is mounting up. We at the start of the race. All gas, no brakes. All faith, no love. We can't slow up. Why you pray so much? Cause I'm thankful we could've died, but he put his grace on us. Fear the most high, do the commands. That's the way to show love. You know the wicked gon' target us. That's why we gotta stay armored up. Yeah. My helmet, my shield, my sword, it's war. My breastplate, my brothers on one accord. I'm waist deep in this truth. I gird my loins, my feet shod with that gospel of peace. But it's war. My helmet, my shield, my sword, it's war. My breastplate, my brothers on one accord. I'm waist deep in this truth. I gird my loins, my feet shod with that gospel of peace. But it's war. I'm wide awake. I open my eyes. We at the end of time. Thankful that I'm alive. I'ma show me a sign. Send forth an angel. If you don't do it, who else gon' save us? Fight a good fight of faith. Kingdom coming, can't wait. I pray I make it in when I finally see the Savior. I don't know what I would say to him. Pray, don't say depart from me. Think it's sweet, better think again. Shaking these demons up off of me. How we living like it ain't the end. This battle was spiritual. I pray these lyrics give you a visual. Confirmation after confirmation. I guess it was meant for you. Give Baba the glory. Still on the throne. They don't believe, but they gon' see. The armor is on me. My helmet, my shield, my sword, it's war. My breastplate, my brothers on one accord. I'm waist deep in this truth. I gird my loins, my feet shod with that gospel of peace. But it's war. My helmet, my shield, my sword, it's war. My breastplate, my brothers on one accord. I'm waist deep in this truth. I gird my loins, my feet shod with that gospel of peace. But it's war. He that dwells in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. Abba, show me a sign. Save the Most High, he is my refuge, my fortress, in him shall I trust. Save us. He shall surely deliver me from the snare and the fowler, from the noise of pestilence. 11:59.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, man. That's that fire right there, man. Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shabbat Kwam Yashala. Welcome to the Lion's Den, man. Hey, man, you know what, man? I sat back and realized, man, the truth will make you run. You hear me? The truth will make you run, bro. I couldn't even get 10 slides into my presentation, and they was already running for the hills. Welcome to the den, man. We got the Lions Den champion in the building, Yasha bin Israel. Tell them what it is.
What it do, family. Yasha bin Israel, the most formidable Israelite alive. Yes, sir, in the building. Yeah, just checking it out with the brother J Jizzle and Karima in the house. You know what I'm saying? Checking it out. Trying to see what's cracking. You know, I missed the prelim or the presentation. You know, I'm gonna swing double back and check it out if he ain't take it down. You know,
man, he already took it down, man. It was over, man. It was like he didn't want to hear it, man. But see, the thing is, you called me, bro. You see what I'm saying? You called me in the middle of my day to bring me this nonsense. Oh yeah, I got somebody that want to debate the topic. Meet your mic, family.
Yeah, I'm on.
Okay, there you go. Yeah, they want to debate this topic. The European Greeks you know, write the New Testament. So that's what there it is on the screen. Chris Harris, you know, he ran from Yasha. He ran from me a couple of times. So why you even waste your time even coming at me, bro? I stayed up. I said, no, we can debate this topic tomorrow, which is today. I stayed up 4 or 5 hours.
Hey, I told y'all a couple weeks ago, man, that he the type of guy, man, to throw a rock, to throw a brick and have his hand, man. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, that's what he do. You know, the kind of guy on the block, man, you see him by himself, man. You know what I mean? He a little sucker duck. But when he get with his crew, he get live. You dig what I'm saying? And he thinks I nothing on his crew. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, so them niggas like failures over there, Doc. They like niggas that's on the wrong side of reality, the wrong side of truth. You know, I'm willing to debate and mop up. I carry the mop when I come around there and the bucket. I'm ready to mop up all of them niggas, bro. Any one of them.
They don't want no smoke though, man. They always come up with excuse. They were, oh, nobody wants to debate you or Black Jesus. Now, come on, bro. No, we ain't trying to hear that.
But they can't say that with me. You know, why they running for me? You know, I show up straight decorum. I didn't act up not one time on the show.
So the excuse don't work.
Yeah, that shit don't work.
But yeah, I was disrespected, man, because like I say, you know, I spent time last night getting ready for this, and dude cowered out. You sign up for a debate, you don't show up, you lose. But I didn't even want to beat you by default. I wanted to battle. I wanted to see what you was gonna bring to the table. Well, let's go ahead and get it. Well, before we get into this, Sister Kareem, you want to say anything?
Why you running, Chris?
Right. Let me share my screen, man. We're gonna get into this because, like I said, the teachings that they're teaching over there. I guess he's a doctor, Dr. Reggie.
You got Chris Carl Lewis in the house.
Chris Carl Lewis, Chris LVP Harris, looking very pathetic. Least valuable player Harris, you know, he signs up for debates, and then at the last minute, hey, he run like a track star. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know which one is he. Is he Jesse Owens or is he or he the other guy?
He Usain Bolt.
You know Carl Lewis, Jesse Owens,
and Usain Bolt had a baby.
Jesse Owens ass Negro.
But yeah, man, I just feel it was a waste of time, and I said, well, damn, bro, let me do my presentation then. I stayed up for it, you know. But Sarnetta got hurt, you know, within 10 slides because I was crushing Reggie and all that. But we finna get into it, man, because no European Greeks wrote the New Testament. It is what it is. You know, we finna get into it, man. That's what we finna do. Hold up, man. Let me share my screen. Hey, shout out to everybody in the family. Sister Napalia. I can't never pronounce her name, but I see y'all. All right. Natalie. There you go. All right, I'm sharing my screen. All right.
Let's get it.
All right. The logical fallacies have to stop today. Because, you know, they run around talking about did the European Greeks write the New Testament. You know what I'm saying? The New Testament was originally written in Hebrew, and we got scholars that can back this up. They're backed up by Dr. D. Briggs, PhD at Walton University. These are some of the scholars that agree with him. They got Bivens, you can look them up, Blizzard, Grant, Loisy, Schoenfeld, Trim, Ming, Segal, Dam, etc. They all raised the flag regarding the New Testament as being originally written in Hebrew and not Greek or Aramaic. All right. The New Covenant original language was neither Greek nor Aramaic, as popular wisdom goes, but rather in Hebrew, the same Hebrew language that the Tanakh, the Old Testament, the Tanakh and the Old Testament was written in. And you can find that in the Hebrew New Testament by Dr. D. Briggs, PhD at Walton University. I'm gonna be using a lot of his information in the slides. I just put the source on each slide so you know where it's coming from, right?
Yeah.
All right. Not only is it logical that it should be Hebrew, since Yeshua and his disciples were from a Hebrew-speaking country, but there are many internal and external proofs that reinforce this logic. Furthermore, Yeshua was living in Judea, surrounded by Jews and disciples who had their sacred text, who had as their sacred text a Tanakh written almost entirely in Hebrew. Let's keep it going. Now here go proof found within the scriptures themselves. That's in Luke 23 and 38. And the superscription also was written over him in the letters of Hebrew. This is the King of the Jews. If Yeshua and the Jews spoke Aramaic, as many have been misled to believe, why is it not Aramaic listic rather than Hebrew? After all, this sign was written for the vast majority of Israel, including the common folk. Just this single scriptural proof alone is overwhelmingly compelling that Hebrew was very much alive and still in use in Israel at that time. Hebrew was still very much alive during the Messiah's earthly ministry and afterwards. Whom should one trust? Man, who has attempted to beguile many of the scriptures, and Yeshua Christ himself? And obviously Saul, was later known as Paul, understood Hebrew, who was educated at the feet of a Hebrew-speaking scholar. This added proof that Hebrew was very active in Israel during the time of Yeshua and Christ and beyond. And that's about, Dr. D. Briggs, PhD, Walden University. Now, at Matthew 5 and 18, Christ said, not a jot nor a tittle will pass. Both of these refer to the Hebrew alphabet. Why would Yeshua Christ refer to the Hebrew with an audience who supposedly spoke Aramaic and thus would not have understood him? Obviously, this audience spoke Hebrew. Why would Yah inspire the disciples of Christ to write Yeshua's biography and teaching in a language that the Jews hated and that the apostles could not have known since they all were Jews? Does this make sense? Well, the truth is he did not. You can find that in the Hebrew New Testament by Dr. D. Briggs, PhD, Walden University. There were debates raging concerning the destruction of the scrolls in the New Testament because they could contain the divine name of God in Hebrew. That'd be YHWH. This debate clearly documents that the Gospels were written in Hebrew in early church history. You can find that in the Babylonian Talmud, Shabbat 116a, the Jerusalem Talmud, Shabbat 15c, and the Tosfta, I can't pronounce that, Tosfta, Shabbat 13 and 5. The four Gospels and the book of Matthew. Matthew put down the words of the Lord in the Hebrew language, and others have translated them, each as best he could. Papias, Bishop of Hierapolis, 150 A.D. Matthew indeed produced his gospel written among the Hebrews in their own dialect. That's Irenaeus, 120 to 202 A.D., Bishop of Lyons of France. Okay. I read that. My fault. Now, the first gospel composed in the Hebrew language was written by Matthew for those who came to the faith of Judaism. That's Oregon, 225 A.D. Matthew at first preached to the Hebrews, and when he was about to go to others, also he transmitted his gospel in writings in his native language. Ecclesiastical History 3, 24 and 6. Matthew collected and wrote the oracles in the Hebrew language. Ecclesiastical History 3, 39 and 16. The New Testament originally written in Hebrew, as the following scholars agreed, and I already read you them at the beginning. I just wanted to put that out there again. And see, this where Sinai got mad at me right here when I read this, because he's starting to get into his folly. So I said, he who answers a matter before he hears it, it is folly and shame to him. That's Proverbs 18:13. Not only that, but most have already been influenced, sadly and unwittingly, by the strong effects of the statement. A lie repeated often enough is eventually believed as true, whether it's fact. See, this is what I was going to go into Chris Harris. This is where I was going to go into Chris Harris right here.
Hey, say that again. Say that one more time.
I hit you again and again. It said, he who answers a matter before he hears it, it is folly and shame to him. See, this is where it's trying to get mad. You ready to kick me off the show. Proverbs 18:13. Not only that, but most have already been influenced, sadly and unwittingly, by the strong effect of the statement. A lie, repeated often enough, is eventually believed as true, whether it's fact. And this is what I'm saying. This is Chris. This is a propaganda tool used by Hitler's one of his guys, Joseph Goebbels. You see what I'm saying? That's how they trick people. But let's get into it, man. God, nature, and character is consistent. Y'all talked to Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden, and what later became known as the Hebrew language. Yah used this language to speak to all the Israelites at Mount Sinai. It's the language in which the 10 Commandments were written by Yah's own finger. It's also the language he used to speak to all the patriarchs and prophets. He even had the Old Testament written primarily in this language. It is now logical to believe that Yah, for no apparent reason, suddenly changed his mind. That's Malachi 3:6. And surprisingly began to just use Greek, a completely foreign language, to write the New Testament. Such absurd thinking presents lots of pragmatic difficulties. Sorry about that, y'all. Malachi 3:6. For I, the Lord, do not change. Therefore, you, O children of Jacob, are not consumed. Right? Now, Josephus is another scholar. He disdained the Greek language. This is what he said. I have also taken a great deal of pains to obtain the learning of the Greek and understand the elements of the Greek language. Yet I cannot pronounce Greek with sufficient exactness, for our nation does not encourage those that learn the language of many nations, because they, the Jew, look upon this sort of accomplishment as common, very lowly. But they give him the testimony of being a wise man who fully acquainted with the Jewish laws. In contrast, as there have been many who have done their endeavors with great patience to attain this Greek learning, there have yet hardly been so many as 2 or 3 that have succeeded therein, who were immediately well rewarded for their pains. Emphasis mine. That's Antiquities of the Jews, 20 and then 21. Now, Jews had an aversion toward the Greeks, especially on religious matters. It's reflected and recorded by the gospel writer and historian Luke in that violent incident where an angry Jewish mob developed upon the false reports that Paul brought Greeks with him to the temple to worship during his last visit in Jerusalem. You can find that in Acts 21, 27, and 9. This led Paul's arrest and imprisonment. I'm going to read it for you. It's in the New King James Version. Now, when the 7 days were almost ended, the Jews from Asia, seeing him in the temple, stirred up the whole crowd and laid hands on him, crying out, "Men of Israel, help. This is a man who teaches all men everything against the people, the law, and this place. And furthermore, he also brought Greeks into the temple and has defiled this holy place. For they had previously seen Trophimus, the Ephesian, with him in the city, who was supposed that Paul had brought him into the temple." Now, Hebrew Aramaic was actually the common language in first century Judea. All honest historians agree that Christ and his disciples commonly spoke in Aramaic, a sister dialect to the Hebrew, which was also the common language in all Judea and surrounding regions in the first century. Sadly, popular Christian teachers deceitfully want us to believe that Greek was their common language. And see, this is what Reggie, Jabari, I don't know if Jabari said it. I'm gonna say Reggie, Chris Harris, and everybody else. Even Sarnetta was saying it for a while. But see, then when you hit them with the information, Tahuti.
Hey, the real macabre. All of them clowns.
Right. Okay. But like you said, they want us to believe that that was a common language, which is also the false reason given to support the erroneous belief that Greek was the original language in the New Testament. So that's what I'm here for today, man. I'm bringing this out. I want them to do a video showing us how they got proof that European Greeks wrote the New Testament or the Septuagint, 72 books, 72 elders. My fault. All right. Now, Hebrew Aramaic was also the native language of all Christ's disciples. You see what I'm saying? All the Christ disciples were Hebrews who also spoke Aramaic. The primary audience were also Hebrews who also spoke Aramaic. And we're already seeing that the native language of Yeshua was Aramaic. It is absolutely illogical and unreasonable for them to suddenly write for the fellow Hebrew audience in a foreign hated language. And that's Greek. As I've been showing y'all, they wasn't really rocking with it. It's like a true-blooded American writing a large American audience using the Russian language. All right? Christ's disciples were not knowledgeable in Greek. You see what I'm saying? I mean, we got all kind of evidence showing, you know, how we stick into the language. I don't even see how they even coming up with the Greeks writing the New Testament. I just don't get it. But it's just propaganda. That's why I showed y'all that earlier. All right. Now let us remember that even the top four most often named disciples, Peter, Andrew, James, and John, were plain fishermen and were derisively derided by the Sanhedrin as uneducated and untrained men. That's in Acts 4:13. How then can such ignorant men write the Greek? Y'all hear that question? How then can such ignorant men write in Greek? It's impossible. All right, let's go.
Wow.
I'm going to read this right here in Acts, because Acts 4:13. Now, when they saw the boldness of Peter and John and perceived that they were uneducated and untrained men, they marveled and they realized that they had been with Christ. See, there's no evidence that the disciples ever studied Greek. There's absolutely no record of evidence that the disciples, even after Christ's resurrection, even ventured to find a school or a tutor or to study Greek. If ever they did study first, how could they fulfill Christ's commission to go and preach? And since both the Jews and Roman persecutions came early, they obviously would have already been dead before they were able to even learn Greek. The oracles or words of Yah were committed to the Jews. The Apostle Paul said that the oracles, the word of Yah, were committed to the Jews, not the Latin-speaking Romans, and also not the Greeks. Romans 1 and 2. Sadly, the biblical fact is hidden or ignored by some historians and theologians in an effort to rewrite history. This false but popular claim that Greek was the original language in the New Testament is already clearly debunked by this one verse alone. Remember, Yah had absolute power to cause his words to be fulfilled to the letter. Okay. All right, here we go. The apostles wrote early due to the impending persecutions, logically piercing all facts together and contrary to common teachings. It is believed that before leaving Jerusalem to fulfill Christ's commission for them to go and find the lost sheep of the house of Israel and never return due to the martyrdom in far-off lands, the apostles and disciples wrote first. This was done shortly after receiving the mighty power of Yah, Holy Spirit, on the day of Pentecost. And while the facts were still fresh in their minds and before the Roman persecution began, those apostles like Matthew and John and disciples like Mark and Luke who were gifted in writing and familiar with the events surrounding Christ's life wrote the accounts now called the Gospels. The later letters of John, James, Jude, and Peter came shortly thereafter. Peter's epistles were last. All these accounts and letters were written in their native Hebrew Aramaic language. So like I say, bro, they ain't got a leg to stand on, man. And this is while they were still residing in Jerusalem. After all those writings were done, Yah inspired such original autographs to be duplicated in multiple copies by many of the existing Hebrew scribes and priests in Jerusalem, who eventually became zealous converts by then. That's in Acts 6, 7, and you can find it in Acts 12 and 24. Excuse me. Acts 6 and 7. Then the word of Yah spread, and the number of the disciples multiplied greatly in Jerusalem, and a great many of the priests were obedient to the faith. Acts 12 and 24. But the word of Yah grew and multiplied. The apostles then went to seek the lost sheep of Israel, unknown to or simply ignored by most historians and theologians. Those faithful apostles followed Christ's instructions to them to the letter. In obedience to Christ's command, they left Jerusalem and went to find the lost sheep of the house of Israel. That's in Matthew 10, 5 and 6, and Matthew 15, verse 24. These lost sheep of the house of Israel also spoke and understood Hebrew and Aramaic. It was to them the scattered sheep outside of Judea and fold. John 10 and 16, that the gospel message and the apostolic letters were primarily addressed to first, because being very far from Judea, they needed these comforting messages. They needed these comforting messages more. Many centuries later, the original writings, the apostolic autographs, were copied and translated into Greek, Latin, and many other languages. Here's Matthew 10 and 5. These 12 Yeshua sent out and commanded them, saying, do not go into the way of the Gentiles, and do not enter a city of the Samaritans. All right. Now, the Romans failed to destroy these Hebrew Aramaic writings. The Romans actually did a double major campaign to destroy all Hebrew writings. After the massive destruction of Jerusalem and the temple in AD 70, the first massive attempt to destroy all Hebrew writings were precipitated by the violent Bar Kokhba revolts. That's in 132 to 135 AD. Then, after the bloody suppression of the revolt, in his anger, Roman Emperor Hadrian proclaimed the rooting out of Jew nationalism in Judea, which he saw as the cause of the repeated rebellions. He then prohibited Torah law, the Hebrew calendar. He executed Judaic scholars, and the sacred scrolls of Judaism were ceremonially burned. In an attempt to erase any memory of the name of Israel and the utter contempt, he erased and replaced the name of Israel off the map with Syria, Palestinia, from the original word Philistine, the traditional long-standing chief enemy of Israel.
Whoa. Now,
Yeah.
do you remember the other week when he asked about could the Bible or the scripture be used to liberate black people? And I talked about how they could be freed from prison. I talked about how they could be freed from slavery. And I talked about how they could be free from oppression. And remember, I mentioned something about the Bar Kokhba revolt.
You sure did. Yep, sure did.
There it is.
All right. And then the second attempt was undertaken during the reign of the Emperor Diocletian, who ruled from 284-305 AD. This was called the Diocletic persecution, 303 to 11, described as the empire's last, largest, and bloodiest official persecution of Christianity. But as a wise, advanced planner, Yah is always ahead of man's evil plan. For example, when Herod planned to kill all male children in the effort to eliminate the Christ child, Joseph was instructed to early bring his family to Egypt and stay until Herod was dead. Now, God's Yah's fourfold advanced steps concerning the preservation of the apostolic writings were: the original apostles wrote their writings before the Roman persecution began. Many copies of these were made and brought to the regions beyond the Roman Empire. These lost sheets of the house of Israel preserved those Hebrew Aramaic writings. Those writings stayed there until there was a change in the climate of persecution.
Teach.
These developments explain why the apostolic writings in the Hebrew Aramaic language escaped even the double massive Roman campaigns to destroy them. Of course, these scattered Israelite tribes were already in long possession of what is called the Old Testament scriptures, being read by them every Shabbat. That's in Acts 15 and 21. And as Yah's miraculous backup plan, most of the Old Testament scriptures were providently hidden in earthen jars at the Quorum caves near the shores of the Dead Sea, better known as the Dead Sea Scrolls. Indeed, Yah is never late in doing what needs to be done, and he's never outwitted by man's evil plan. Sod that out. All right. Acts 15 and 21. For Moses has had throughout many generations those who preach him in every city, being read in every synagogue, every Shabbat. Psalms 2, 1 through 5. Why do the nations rage and the people plot a vain thing? The kings in the earth set themselves, and the rulers take counsel together against the Lord and against his anointed, saying, let us break their bonds in pieces and cast away their cords from us. He who sits in the heavens shall laugh. The Lord shall hold them in derision. Then he shall speak to them in his wrath and distress them in his deep displeasure. The Roman Empire split actually protected the Aramaic writings. This major division of the Roman Empire happened during the reign of Constantine the Great, because the eventual focus shifted into the rivalry between the Western Latin and the Eastern Greek factions of the empire. So the Hebrew Aramaic writings of the apostles was left undisturbed. Let's keep it moving. All right. Now, according to biblical scholar Henry H. Haley, this great division was finally cemented by 395 AD when Rome officially adopted the Latin language for the Western Empire versus Constantinople, named after Constantine instead of his old Byzantine name. When it also adopted Greek as the official language from the Eastern Empire. That's Church History, Haley Bible Hancock, A.H. Haley Zondervan, page 795. Now, disturbing conflicts among existing Greek manuscripts. This is not to say that the Latin versions had no problems, but when the Greek translated manuscripts eventually appeared, none of them agreed with each other. So you see what I'm saying? None of them agreed with each other. Why? First, very obviously, they were not translated from one original source document, but from various corrupted copies. Secondly, all these Greek manuscripts had surprisingly Latin names. This fact alone clearly goes against what the Apostle Paul stated as the strong marker for originality when he wrote that the oracles of Yah were committed to the Jews, not the Latin Romans and not the Greeks. That's in Romans 3, 1 and 2. I read you that earlier. Now, thirdly, consider the places where the Greek manuscripts were found. They all had long-standing history and anti-Semitic or people who hate Hebrew people. The following are the present popular versions called Codex, and named after the places where they were found, like Codex Alexandrinus, that's found in Alexandria, Egypt. Codex Sinaiticus, that's found in Arab territory. Codex Vaticanus, that's found in Rome. Let's see where we at. Hold up. Okay, yeah, right here. All right, here we go. Now, anti-Semitism clouded Bible translation accuracy. The rearrangement of the books in the New Testament. Most honest Bible scholars know this fact And frankly, anti-Semitism and anti-nomanism are two kinds of hidden agendas why this rearrangement was made. Please note that after the gospel accounts, the writings of the original apostles, who are actually called first, should follow the book of Acts rather than being placed last. Paul's letters should be placed last. 1 Corinthians 15:8-9. Did not the Bible say to the Jew first and then to the Greeks, Gentiles, or Armenians? That's in AENTHRB. That's in Romans 1:16 and in Romans 2:10. In effect, y'all also offered salvation to the Jews first, not the Gentiles or the Greeks. That's in John 4:19-22. Now note AENT is the Aramaic English New Testament. And then the HRB is the Hebrew Roots Bible. All right. Let's see where I'm at. See, okay. Now, here we go. Okay, now, ignoring the original language of the gospel accounts. The material of four gospels is all Israel, and the language in which the original, which it was originally written is Aramaic. Then the principal language of the land, quoted from the R translated Gospels. That's in PX 1936 by Charles Cutler Torrey, one of the most capable Peshitta scholars. That's in AENT, page 723. More details on New Testament anti-Semitism, how it's developed and who mainly caused it, is described greatly in detail in the appendix section, page 915 of the AENT. Okay, now since all Greek manuscripts don't agree, which one another? Man, I know I was half asleep when I did that one. I was half asleep when I did that one. My apologies. All right, so I stayed up 5 hours, trying to get something going, and the brother ran. But this right here is gonna bust their head right here. Now, there's proof of the Hebrew Aramaic language was the original. The Carbatus Codex is the oldest Peshitta Aramaic text available. It is not a translation, but the language Christ spoke in his day. Note, Peshitta simply means common, plain, simple, or straightforward.
Note the Peshitta.
Yeah. You know anything about that, T?
Yes, sir. That's the Aramaic. That's the Aramaic Bible. And the original Aramaic Peshitta, the New Testament reads very the original. It doesn't have some of those some books is not even in there. The Revelations is not in there. The virgin birth story is not in there. There's a couple of things that's not in the original Peshitta. Yeah, I'm familiar with it.
Right. See, I kind of blew through these little 50 slides, man, but this was just one night of action right here, man. You know what I'm saying? But this is very important right here. When the Carbatus Codex was found, the news article, U.S. Library Gets an Ancient Bible, appeared in the New York Times on March 26, 1955, reporting on the oldest known New Testament Bible written in the language used by Christ. The article says that it was taken to the White House when then President Dwight Eisenhower viewed it. Together with then Secretary of State John Foster Dulles, it was escorted via police motorcade and armed guards. Along with this much pomp to Library to the Library of Congress, this codex was said to have been insured for an hour and a half in the amount of $1,500,000 US dollars. This copy stayed in the Library of Congress to June 24th, 1986, when it was transferred to the Western Theological Seminary in Holland, Michigan, and where it remains to this day. Andrew Gabriel Roth, noted historian, scholar, and authority on Hebrew and Aramaic languages, stated in part in the introduction of the Aramaic English New Testament. That's a pretty heavy letter right there, ain't it, man?
Yeah. Yeah, right up here in University of Michigan has one of the best Hebrew departments probably in the world. You know, I mean, it stands up there with Tel Aviv when it comes to Hebraic studies. You
Right.
know, yeah, I mean, even when you open up the Tanakh, it talks about how some of the professors in the JPS Tanakh, you know, was responsible for, you know, its compilation and different researches and stuff done on it.
So like the brother said, Tahuti was trying to use that letter, man. So when I'm gonna get done with these two slides, I want you kind of to get into that a little bit, because that's supposed
Yeah.
to be that's supposed to be their proof that Greeks, you know, translated the New Testament. But this is what this last scholar said. Andrew Gabriel
But
Roth. Oh, go ahead, family.
yeah, I also say, but Tahuti, you know, we'll get off into this a little later. Tahuti wasn't talking about the New Testament. He was talking about the Septuagint. Yeah, he was more talking about the Old Testament because you know, he was talking about the Ptolemies, and you know, that's like in BC. You know, that's like 300, 200, almost 300 BC. You know, and that was around the time that the Septuagint was said to have been written.
Right.
You know, so but he basically was using a lot of conjecture. But go ahead, man. Get back to the slides.
Right. Yeah, it's about 2 more slides left, man. You know,
Yeah.
I got tired. Like I said, I don't even know what I was writing on this one. Since all the Greek manuscripts don't agree with one another, what then was the correct manuscript version? Okay, there you go. Okay. All right, let's get back to it. I got okay. So this is what he said. Andrew Gabriel Roth, this is some of his credentials. He's a noted historian, scholar, and authority on Hebrew and Aramaic languages, stated in part in the introduction to the Aramaic English New Testaments, that's the AENT. It is common knowledge that Yahshua Christ and his original followers spoke Hebrew and Aramaic. But up until now, the vast majority of Bible students have only had access to the translations and versions of the Greek text. And this is why Reggie and all them is lost.
Yeah, they claim they follow African scholarship, you know, but they don't, you know, because I mean, they don't have these guys don't have the minds that John Henrik Clark and Joseph Ben Yochanan had.
Right.
You know, these guys have a very biased and almost racist, you know what I'm saying, mindset. You can be pro-black and pro-African and pro-Israel and pro-Kemet and not, you know, be biased towards the world. You want to have an objective point of view. You know, you want to have an objective worldview. You don't want to have a subjective worldview. And that's what they have. They have a very, very subjective worldview.
Right. And yeah, it's like if you're not Kemet, everybody else is just garbage. You know what I mean? We a joke over there. You know, so like I said, they don't over there on Sunday TV. I said we're gonna really speak on them, but over there on Sunday TV, they really don't want to learn. They just want to really mock.
Well, yeah, they on well, you have different agendas. You know, Reggie have a different agenda than Sinetta. You know, Sinetta, you know, believe it or not, Sinetta's having a ball. He having the time of his life. You understand? He get to talk to all type of pro-black people. Mm-hmm. You know, he where he stand. You understand? You know, I don't know where that is, but you know, he says it's Kemet, but he's not. He probably know more about the Bible than he knows about Kemet, and he doesn't know that much about the Bible. He's learning though. You know, I don't know. So power, the power they getting to him, but he learning. You know, but he knows more about
what he's doing. He's learning to try to find errors and mock. That's what he's doing. Let me read this right quick, Terry. Let me read this right quick because it's the last two. Now, this Andrew Gabriel Roth had access and studied most ancient Arabic texts in Hebrew letters. You hear what they say?
Yeah, that's Arabic text.
What? Yeah.
That was Arabic or Aramaic?
I'm sorry, Aramaic. My fault.
Oh, okay.
Andrew Gabriel Roth had access and studied the most ancient Aramaic texts in Hebrew letters, which are derived from the Khaboris Codex, one of the 360 manuscripts that make up the Eastern Peshitta family. He said that the present Aramaic English translation of the volume is as literal as possible to the Aramaic and includes many footnotes that address significant differences between the earliest Aramaic and Greek versions. This Aramaic English New Testament is the most definitive English New Testament translation in nearly 2,000 years. And this is what he's saying.
Wow.
Now, the background information on the Aramaic text, authenticity. The article from the New York Times 1955 issue says scholars had examined the manuscript from the Library of Congress and pronounced it authentic. The AENT website says the Khaboris manuscript is a copy of the 2nd century New Testament, which was written approximately 165 AD. Internally,
so that's older. That's older than the Greek writings.
That's a good point. Right.
Yeah.
Internally documented as 100 years after the great persecution of the Christians by Nero in 65 AD. Carbon dating has found this copy of the New Testament to be approximately 1,000 years old. Given its origins, this would make it a copy of the oldest known New Testament manuscript.
Wow.
The resources unpublished writing of Abbot Garrett Crawford, PhD, Western Rite Syrian Orthodox Church in America, Michael Rice, ND, DCP. Additional testimony is in that website at the end. But that's what I put together last night, man, because I thought dude was gonna be ready, man. I know that 50 sides kind of went pretty fast. But go ahead and speak on it. Let me unshare my screen.
Well, today's Aramaic speaking people, they refer to themselves as Chaldeans. Okay, and they from Iraq, and those people pride themselves greatly for speaking the language of Christ. I worked with a lot of those Chaldean guys, and that's, they knew I was an Israelite. They knew I spoke Arabic. They spoke Arabic, and we used to talk a lot in Arabic. But, they prided themselves with the Chaldeic language, the Aramaic language. They prided it because they knew that was the language that was related to the language of Abraham, and it was also the language of Christ, so they really, really pride themselves with that. And with that kind of pride, it's some validity, to what you're saying there. When I was a New Testament Israelite, I used to talk about the Peshitta a lot, and there's different versions of the Peshitta, as you read. You have the Peshitta today, which is just another New Testament, but the early Peshittas, those reflected the ideas of early Messianic Hebrewism. You understand what I'm saying? It was with the oncoming of the Greek and the Latin languages, that Christianity began to creep itself in. But the ideas and views that we have today are largely there from the Latin to the English switch. And in doing that, they changed a lot of the meanings of the words. They changed a lot. They added a lot of pagan and Nordic interpolations into the Greek text. The Greek text, it has always been argued that there was a Hebrew and the Aramaic originals. It has always been argued, and I don't think that people like Chris and Sarnetta, they don't know anything about the Kamash. They don't know anything about the Peshitta and things of that nature. You understand? I don't believe that the Kamash, I believe the Kamash is a translation. It's a Hebrew New Testament. It's a translation. But I think that that older Aramaic, you know, the ones that go back to the 2nd century, you know, you want to get I forget which the names of them is. You know, I pretty much I'm kind of rusty, you know, on New Testament literature and material, you know, but I do know that the Parshita, the early Parshitas are said to have been older than the Greek New Testament.
So what kind of information do you think they have to prove? 'Cause I want you to talk about that letter.
They can't. I mean, on the reality, I don't believe that they can come with anything as heavy as what you just laid down. You know, what you laid down is something that when this video is over, I'm going to go back and look into it. You know, and I'm going to look into it just to sharpen up my New Testament skills.
Right.
You know, but it's just something just to sharpen up to have, you know, in case I ever have a dialogue, you know, or something like that. But myself personally, I'm not really interested in debating New Testament material, you know. But yeah, you know, it's that Pashita, man, I've been knowing for quite some decades that the Pashita, certain versions now, you know, certain ones, the real early ones, you know, are said to be older than the Greek, the Koine Greek New Testament. And I like in your dissertation, it talked about how the Greek, the Koine Greek was introduced into Christianity. I've heard Chris's dissertation about the New Testament, you know, and the Bible and stuff like that. But a lot of his stuff is entertaining, you know, it's very charismatic and entertaining, but it's shy of the facts. You know, he toys with the information. You understand what I'm saying? You know, he said that your New Testament scriptures were compiled simply by they threw a whole bunch of books on the table, prayed over it, and they said that when they come back, the books that's on the top of the pile, that those be the one that the Lord put on there. And he went off into some old church writings and stuff like that. But he wasn't talking. He was, all his information were coming from the early church fathers. You know what I'm saying? And they were not cut. It was information that was already a part of Catholicism and Catholic history. You understand what I'm saying? The Pashita predates Catholic history.
Right.
You understand? Because Catholicism didn't start rocking until like 313 to 325, 23, 26 AD.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's when Catholicism, around the time of the Council of Nicaea, you know, that was the first ecumenical conference. And Greek was probably introduced sometime after that. You understand what I'm saying? But you just read some information that I believe it was said that it was carbon dated, one of the Parshitas going back to the 2nd century. That predates the Koine Greek. You know, that predates the Koine Greek seriously. The Catholic Church and Christianity as a whole is single-handedly responsible for the scriptures being translated into all of these different languages. I mean, the Catholic Church had the Koine Greek, then it went from that, then it went to the Vulgate, you know, and then it went through a whole bunch of other different codexes, you know. The Catholic Church had no problem with Latinizing and romanticizing the Hebrew text. And when the Europeans came with Bishop Waffles in the 4th century, he was the first guy to translate the English Bible. A lot of people think that King James was the first guy to translate the English Bible, and that's not so. Bishop Waffles was the first guy to translate the English Bible into Old English, a very old English. And Bishop Waffles was the first guy to introduce to us the word God. You understand? Because what he did, when he translated it from the Latin Vulgate, there were no words in the old Germanic languages in which Old English emerged from, as well as Old English, to translate into God, or not God, but Theos and Deus, which is the Latin and the Greek words for God in those texts. Okay, in the Koine Greek and the Vulgate. Okay, so what he did was use the name of the highest supreme deity in Nordic culture, which was Godan. Okay, and so and what he did was took a contraction, like Michael. A contraction of Michael is Mike. A contraction of Richard is Ricky or Rich or Richie. He contracted Godan and came up with the word God. Okay, I mean Goda. Okay, and later on, after the Gutenberg press, Goda became God. What did this have to do with anything? It's showing you how the Catholic Church and Christianity romanticized, Latinized, and Anglicized Afro-Asiatic and Hebrew thought. Because these guys run around and they think crazy stuff. You know, they produce these arguments from ignorance, the argumentum ad ignorantium. What they do is they'll say silly things and project these goofy ideas that if there's no evidence, it ain't so. Okay, that's almost like saying, JJ, if I took a gun and blew your brains out and hid the gun, do that mean I didn't do it? Do that mean you ain't die? No, it don't mean that. Okay, so what they do is they build a case and a premise off of no evidence. Now that's ignorance. That's building an argument from ignorance. You cannot say yay or nay with no evidence. That's why if I was to shoot you and get rid of the gun, what they're going to do is try to catch me, and then they're going to build a case because they don't have no evidence. You see, and that's what these boys are doing. They're trying to build a case, but you can't do that with history, because if you don't have no evidence, you can't say yay or nay. You're basing your argument from a place of ignorance. And that is the argumentum ad ignorantium, which all of your guys, Osanetta, and all of your so-called Kemet and atheist guys project to the people who read the Bible. And these are called logical fallacies, in which you started off talking about earlier. Okay, I passed the mic. You there? You there, Jake? I gotta back out, back in, because I can't hardly hear you.
Hold up.
Okay, I hear you.
Y'all can hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay, these headphones must be messing up. But yeah, that's what they do, man. And then like that one part I read right here. It's a propaganda tool right here. This what got started at a mad. And it hit. I was right at that slide when he started his folly, bro. It said right here. It said he who answers a matter before he hears it, it is folly and shame to him. Proverbs 18:13. It said not only that, but most of us have already been influenced.
It's biased
sadly and unwittingly by a strong effect of the statement. A lie repeated often enough is eventually believed as true, whether it's fact or not. See, that's what they do over there. You see, the Greeks wrote the New Testament. The Greeks they keep saying it over and over again. Then the audience automatically believe it. And then somebody like me come over here and say, well, what about this information right here, what I just read? They not trying to hear it, bro. And that's why Silena threw me off his show. But you called me yesterday, man. That was some coward shit. You called me. You told me Chris want to debate you on this topic. I stayed up and got 50 slides ready just to be, let's get it on. I know 50 ain't enough, but in one night, in 5 hours, he didn't have no presentation. He had nothing.
I should have known that the Most High was going to touch you and send you going, because when it was me, you, and Tahuti, when I had my interrogation with Tahuti, Tahuti said that. He said that the Greeks wrote the Bible and everything that he talked about, he said it. And when he said it, you were like, hold up, bro, stop the brakes. I don't know if you remember that.
Can you hear me?
No, I hear you now.
Okay, now say that over. Now, what did Tahuti do?
Now, Tahuti had said it way a couple of years ago when I was giving them the third degree. Okay, he was talking about how the Greeks wrote the Bible and all of this stuff that's coming out now. He said it back then, and I was just writing down my notes, trying to figure out, which one of these topics, which would be a good topic for debate for me and this guy. I came up with several, but yeah, when he got to talking that talk, you was like, hold up, stop the brakes, hold up, bro. You know what I'm saying? And you kind of like cut into him, but then you kind of backed out of it and let me and him go back at our thing. But I should have known back then that this was gonna happen. It was foreseen almost. You know what I'm saying? Go back and look at that. That was years ago. And when nobody ever said nothing about it, nobody ever mentioned much about, that. They just let them say it, and it becomes a fact in their mind after a while because nobody rebuttals it. You know what I'm saying? And you were the first person, you know what I'm saying, to have a very, very hard issue with that. I'm talking about enough to want to rebuttal it. Outside of myself, I already had the guns locked, the guns on deck. I was just waiting for the day, you understand, for this subject to become addressed that we can go in on it. You know what I'm saying? And I can let you understand the lies, the deceit, you understand, the deception that these guys is pushing on y'all. These people they honestly can't have no love and no respect for black people when they're bent on giving black people misinformation.
Mm-hmm. See, like a couple,
you can't love me, man. You sitting up there feeding me lies.
Right.
You can't have my best interest at hand and you feeding me conjecture and logical fallacies, stuff that you cannot prove. These guys can't prove half the stuff that come out their mouth. If they can't, you need to make these guys source up for everything that they say.
Mm-hmm.
Because they got a lot of conjecture, man. There's a lot of guesswork going on up in there. There's a lot of insufficient evidence. It's a lot of evidence that lack quantity, meaning that it's not that much information. They don't have much to stand on. You understand? It ain't that much out here backing up what they got to say.
Right.
It lacks quality. You understand? Like, say what I mean by lacking quantity and quality is a letter of Aristeas.
Yeah. Get
The
into
letter
that, man.
of Aristeas is evidence that lacks quantity because that's the only evidence out here. You understand what I'm saying? That really says
That Greeks.
you know, no, that says that anything about the origin of
Okay.
the Septuagint.
Right.
Yeah, you know, so it's you have to it's pseudepigrapha, so you have to just dismiss that off as conjecture because it lacks quantity, which means there ain't that many sources out here to back this stuff up. It ain't nothing actually. Okay, it lacks and it lacks quality. You understand what I'm saying? Because it's pseudepigrapha.
Mm-hmm. And
You know,
Tahuti.
and we're the pseudepigrapha quality evidence.
So why was Tahuti trying to present that as quality evidence? He was trying to do his magic, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was doing his magic. He tells you that he's a magician. And he works his magic on you people. You know what I'm saying? Magic is really not something that is spooky. You understand? It's nothing more than manipulation.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what he was trying to do. That's one of his debate tactics. He'll present something, and you just gotta stick straight to that.
Yeah, it's something about. I'm noticing these guys, man. You know how they debate. I don't know what this is called. It is something new that I'm watching. It is something where they'll tell a lie and then they'll tell the truth, and then when you argue, you somehow caught in between they lie and they truth. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'll give you a good example of that. Go back and look at the Jabari and Silas debate.
Who?
It's a guy named Silas.
Oh, I ain't never seen that one.
Yeah, and it's funny because the debate could never get past go. You know, they both were too busy on what it was Jabari was too busy trying to make Silas look stupid, and it kept backfiring on him. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. Because Jabari would kick half truths. He would tell half truths, and he would mix some bullshit in there. You know what I'm saying? You know, I mean, all them guys over there is when it comes to debating, those guys are horrible, bro. They're horrible.
I'm done. I'm done, man. You know, they don't have a really good roster. Nobody, you know, they all make up excuse not, you know.
Yeah, all them guys are horrible. Yeah. They're horrible, and they always has been horrible. Okay, you know, very few guys. The guys that you don't see that then bless their stage and only was on there a couple times, those were the out cold cats. Trust me. Anybody that's smarter than them, they don't want you on their platform. You see Reggie over there crying on every video. So I gotta get them off your show.
Yeah, I mean, what is that all about, man? I'm cool with it, man, because that was the last straw for me. You know, you
get
called
them off your show, so I never get them off your show. They all on your show promoting.
Reggie,
they all on your show. They all on your show promoting your agenda, bro. You need us and we need you. Okay.
What I'm saying is,
yeah, you say, and I'm talking about we need this conflict, yeah. We need to address each other in front of the camera in public about it, yeah. We need to address them lies y'all over here telling, yeah.
I'm burned out though, man, for real. It's getting old to me, man. And then it gets disrespectful. It gets disrespectful, and see, back in the day, I would have probably came on with an angry video and going in. I'm not finna feed them that energy, bro. If you don't want to hear the information, then hey, that's on you. But I'm not finna waste my time in front of the camera bashing Sarnetta. I'm not finna do that.
Yeah, that's just old, man, and crazy. You know, that, when I go on that show, man, I'm any ignorance that's come out is not gonna be by me.
Right.
I'm there to kick straight information. You dig? And I'm not about, be all on these cameras clowning and embarrassing myself, man. You know what I'm saying? Cause that shit don't look good, man.
Well, he don't want listen, Yasha. He don't want that type of shit. He want to turn into a clown show. Like I said, when he called me last night, I said, "Do you want to talk about now, or you want this to turn into a circus? Because I'm not about to clown around with y'all. I'm not going to do that. You know what I'm saying?" And then all the interruptions and all that. You see how we can have a regular conversation, even when people come over here to debate. It's fair. It's balanced. Nobody's Sonetta. You cannot be the host, the moderator, the judge, the timekeeper, and the debater. I'm gonna say this about you, bro. Let me say something. Hold on. Let me say one thing about Sonetta. Sonetta, you try to act like you're more intelligent than what you really are, but you notice you will never debate anybody. You always got to be the one that controls the mute button. You got to be the. You know what I'm saying? You will not be like, okay, step aside from that monitor button, get your ass over here, do a presentation, and go against somebody. But that's not his job. He's a host, so I get that. But what I didn't like is you wasted my goddamn time, bro. Don't call me no more on no fuck shit. Excuse my language. I shouldn't even say that. I apologize. But hey, don't call. Matter of fact, just don't even call me, man, because the show is a circus now. It's not really real debates. Because you are always in the way. Because your people be getting beat up. The ones that you want to win, they get beat up. Now I'm gonna say this one more time to you.
He one of them guys when you get to going at his boys' throats.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And you on top of the boys and say y'all battling, and you get on these boys and you on their head. He finna come pull you off their back, man.
Come pull them off. But let me just say this to Nepal. I gotta say this to Nepal. Nepal, you are steady trying to teach that Jesus Christ is a serpent in the garden. And Adam and you gonna have to cut that out. I wouldn't even waste my time with that debate because if you go back and watch the conversation debate that her and I had, she was nowhere near proving that was supposed to be Christ deceiving Adam and Eve. So then he could come back and save them again in the end.
But
it makes no sense. That's some esoteric. That's some esoteric Gnostic bullshit you trying to pull.
And you my homeboy, you know what I'm saying? Real talk, but I didn't watch that debate, man, because I could care less I'm not finna watch nobody. I don't care to watch the New Testament people debate. Now, this year was a good one because honestly, I learned something here. You understand what I'm saying? If you and Chris would have got it in, you would have had a chance to put some information, and you did. You're doing it now, out into the world that needed to be heard. And that's the reason why I like debating, bro. You know what I'm saying? I like debating because debating allows you to put information out into the world that need to be contemplated. This is why they constantly push lies out. Because they want those lies contemplated. You understand what I'm saying? And all of it is to push an atheist agenda, an anti-God, an anti-black man agenda. Because any society that is without God is surely to be without the black man. What you think about that?
Well, to me, it's becoming a waste of time now because it's like, especially when you go over there, because it's like it's a circus. I'm noticing the people in the audience they ain't really trying to grasp to what a person's bringing out if they're not really a comedic. So they automatically are believing the lie that's already been propaganded.
They want to dumb down the people, man. That shit they be talking about be stupid, bro. That shit don't be no scholarship, bro.
Yeah.
All that shit be stupid, straight stupid, and like I said, man. Like I told Tahuti, man, y'all cats talk all this chemist stuff, bro. And it's really sickening to me. That's why I like Taz the other day. Taz brought it to Jabari, man. Y'all niggas romanticize Kemet so much, man. Kemet is fucked up. And it's been fucked up for thousands of years, bro.
I'm gonna have to go back and watch it, man. I seen like the tail end of it. I seen
Man,
the tail
Tez was cracking that boy. Man, Tez made that nigga stop, bro. Like, he was like, hold up, I don't even know how to respond to this.
Damn.
Man, Tez was drilling that man, dude. And you could look at the look in his face, man. He was like, I can't believe it. It's almost like how a Christian would feel when we see you cussing out God. That's how he felt. That's how Jabari felt when Taz said that. Taz was pretty much like, man, fuck all this African shit, bro. I mean, he was, y'all niggas talking this, and that, But I mean, I'm gonna tell you what I know, man. Go over there to Africa, bro. Go over there to Africa and don't have no good backing with you, bro. Like you got cats like Mighty Hebrew over there. You best believe that he over there dealing with other Israelites, other people from America, this, that. People put him up on game, this and that. You know what I'm saying? But man, when you first go up over there and you ain't got that, man, them people be robbing the shit out you over there, dog.
Right.
You want to get a cab to get for somebody to get a taxi, or a ride. You need a ride to get from one place to another. The average fare is $5, $10. They charge you $38 and all this crazy shit. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, you know what? That happened to me when I was in LA, man.
Yeah.
He tried. I got out. I ain't finna pay that. I called an Uber. But I was gonna try to, support the brother. I jump in his taxi. Price is sky high. Damn. So.
Yeah, they gouge you. They constantly running game on you for money. Almost like how on Facebook when you friend the Africans, the first thing they do is come up with some way to try to get some money up out you.
Yeah.
Constantly, you know what I'm saying? Making up lies. A chick tell you she want to marry you. Tomorrow she telling you she in love with you and can't live without you. I mean, they selling their lives hard. They constantly trying to get in your pockets, bro.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about and by you being the new guy not on the block in the continent, this big dumbass continent, big huge continent. Man, you about to get raped, robbed, and pillaged, bro. Yeah. They don't tell you that when you go up over there, you gotta have some money. I know some Israelites that went over there from GOCC, and they thought that that they was going, they gonna flee racism and this and that. No, when you go over there, you finna enter into another kind of hardship, brother.
Well, the thing is, everybody over there, we might all let's have a lot of melanin in the same color, but they ain't all united. So, but that's the picture.
Yeah, they ain't. Well, that's a whole nother issue right there. I didn't even get off into that one. I'm just talking about how Africa is underdeveloped.
But when was the last time, man, was united under one accord?
They ain't never been. The first two Negro brothers was killing each other. They ain't never been. Ever been.
The Tower of Babel probably would be like the closest. Everybody's kind of working on one accord.
You know
what I mean?
But there's always been things, mostly religion, you know what I'm saying, that have pulled people together in unity. But it also, people outside of his belief systems always were the victims. So there was never, ever something that was going to bring this utopia. Even the Israelite thing only bringing a utopia to those who want to do what the God of Israel said do. Mm-hmm. And Sinetta and them don't like that. What Sinetta and them does is Sinetta's idea of God and the devil, is not one that's founded in real Hebrew cosmology, man.
Listen, bro. Hold up, bro.
His idea ain't even rooted in Christianity, bro. His ideas of God and the devil is rooted in Ahura Mazda and all of them. you know, from Zoroastrianism, bro.
Yeah. But hey, where he get? He said, well, how did Noah get all the sharks on the goddamn ark? You see how he think?
Well, a fool, you know, I believe in the Proverbs. You know what I'm saying?
No, he said, how
But
did Noah get? Did no shark? The shark don't need to be on there. He can swim. Why would he need
yeah,
to be on the ark?
a fool ain't interested in the truth. A fool is only interested in airing out his own thoughts.
Yeah, that's true.
That's the scriptures. That's
That is
Proverbs.
true. Yeah, that's true.
You know, yes, you mad at the Bible because the Bible make guys like you look bad. You see, and you think that's cool doing the things that you do. You understand? But this Bible,
hold on, sir, and then call you the next day like ain't nothing happened. Hey, bro, don't hold on. Let me tell you, don't ever call me again in your life, bro. Matter of fact, I'm finna get your phone up or your number out my phone. I'm done, man, because that was very disrespectful. Like I said, I didn't have to even waste time doing this, bro. You called me and said this brother want to debate. Yeah, and then he was talking shit, so I said we could do this shit today, even though this wasn't even a full, complete project. This is just something I slapped together last night. You know what I'm saying? See, he didn't even come with nothing. So, like I said, I'm done debating, man. It's to me, I'm drained, man. I've been doing this shit for like I don't know how many years. It's getting old. I was trying to get other people in the den to step forward and debate. I want y'all to debate. You know what I'm saying? I want y'all to get noticed.
I have never been welcomed in the debate world, bro, ever. You know what I'm saying? I'm that guy, man. The people like, man, get that nigga out of here. Why? I never understood it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know, I knew why, but it's a difference between knowing and understanding. You dig what I'm saying?
Right.
I knew why they was doing that whole shit, but I just never understood it. You know? I understand it.
Hey,
you know, I understand it. They don't want no new blood coming up in here making people think. You see, they want to dumb you down and lock you into a mental box, man. You know, that way, if I can get you stuck in this mental box right here, this matrix, you know what I'm saying? You ain't gonna need God.
Right.
You know, you can do whatever you want to do in this little matrix, and that's what they want you to do, man. But that's a dangerous, dangerous thing, man. You know what I'm saying? Because the laws of God, believe it or not, is the key to core good moral values, bro. There is no greater value system, moral value system, than the laws of Moses, bro. None of them. They try to make the laws of Moses look and sound ridiculous. But the thing goes is that what y'all fail to realize is that when you can read it however way you want to read it, you can get whatever you want to get up out of it. The truth of the matter is that I'm an Israelite and I practice this. I tell you what this shit means. You don't tell me. Right. You don't tell doctors. You don't go tell your doctor what shit means. You let him tell you, right?
Hey, yeah, this is what they want to push. They want to push this Darwin stuff, man. This evolution, this Darwin, and this Big Bang stuff. But man, you go. This is a good book, man. Darwin Under the Microscope. It talks about a creative design. Now he's not saying that that our God is a creative designer, but they're saying that there's a creative designer somewhere out there because just the complexity of the cell, it has different it's like an engine and a motor and how it operates. One part cannot work without the other. So how does this natural?
I'll tell you one thing that's very new that have made scientists. Two things new that have made scientists wonder about God. One is DNA.
Yeah,
DNA, and another is dark matter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Those are two things that baffle. That when they begin to start tapping off into this, the first thing they can say is, "Oh my God." Literally, you understand what I'm saying?
But I got all kind of a Darwin's black box, Darwin's doubt, Darwin under the microscope. They got Michael Behe, PhD, Philip Johnson, James P. Gills. I mean, it's a lot of scholars out there that's for intelligent design. But see, that platform over there is built to go against a creator, an intelligent designer. Oh, that was deep. That was what did Sebastian say? Intelligent design is not science. You know, just they want to discredit it, but you just gotta have common sense, man. When you read, I mean, how is this like the Cambrian explosion? They got fossils and stuff that they don't show a transition or gradual change. They just pop up out of nowhere. You see what I'm saying? Darwin can't explain that. He can't. It's a lot of things that he can't explain, bro. So just like
See, this is what I get out. This is what I get out of the Bible, man. Okay, basically, when you look at that Bible from Genesis to Revelation, there's one group of people that is constantly the topic of discussion from beginning to end, and that's the Israelites, right? Okay, and when you look at the whole, when you get the moral of the story, the moral of the story is about the Israelite God and his commandments. You understand? And this story, the Bible is basically a bunch of stories that talked about Israel in its glory, when Israel understood the law, when it understood the commandments unperverted, and what happened when the commandments got perverted and even abandoned. You understand what I'm saying? That's all the Bible is about from beginning to end. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah.
That's all it's about. So if that's what it is everything is centered around the laws. You see? It's the laws. And what the laws are, they're commandments. They are established principles that determines good and bad behavior, morals. Okay? That's what the Bible is. That's what the laws of God is. You understand? And people who don't want to abide by the laws of God, it doesn't matter whether the stories is real or fake or there's an error in the writing. There's a more to every story, there's a moral to the story. And these Negroes don't even talk about the moral. They talk about all the sideways shiznit. You understand? And that's called not seeing the forest for the trees, man. Am I lying?
Yeah. Hey, bro, I'm for real, bro. I'm done, man. I'm done debating, man. I got burnt out, man. It take a lot of energy out of it. It's like you call me out. Well, you know, you step to my challenge, and then you build up all this energy. You put some stuff together, then you don't even show up. Kareem making flyers, you don't even show up. I'm done with starting the TV. I'm done with. I'll let you know. I don't mind if y'all debate whatever, do your thing, but I'm taking a break from it, man. For real, man. This shit getting old. Because I mean, the competition over there is garbage. It's a waste of time.
Well, the competition is garbage, but it's at a. I think something needs to be done. You know, whether you debating or not. You know, the message needs to be preached about the folly that if you ain't gonna debate them, you got when they pushing out false information, it needs to be attacked. Because what happens?
Roy Washington.
What happens is like what you said earlier. A lie can be preached for so long to where the people start to accept it as the truth.
Right. Hey, Roy Washington, they go to Link, man. Come on, jump on here and tell us why Chris Harris would destroy us when he ran from both of us. You don't even make no sense, bro. You must be one of his little flunkies. So come on up in here and you tell us.
Send him the link.
Let him destroy. Come on up in here, bro.
Let him destroy us.
Oh, yeah. See what it is? You just like Chris Harris. You run your mouth in the goddamn on chat, but then when it's time to show up, oh, I don't want to debate them. They're too loud, or you know, they don't speak proper enough and all that, man. Get up out of here, man. But I know you ain't gonna come on here.
Let the crowd. You want to be. You see what these guys want to do? They want to be the opponent and the judge. I mean, like, where the fuck they do that at, bro?
Right. Oh, you at work? Okay. I mean, I'm just saying everybody gets
these
the right
niggas
to.
want to be Muhammad Ali and the referee.
Right.
And the commentator. Come on, man. Put your ass down and focus on debating me.
Wait, hold on. How
you
do a
want to
guy
wear all them hats to make yourself look big? You know what I'm saying? Like, but because you can't handle this goddamn work.
Right. I'm trying to figure out if this guy's supposed to be destroying it, but why did he keep canceling all the debates? Don't bark up the tree and then, you know what I'm saying, then when it's time to get in the ring, I'll change my mind. You wasting people's time, man. I ain't never seen nobody
over there. Then he go over there and make a video about you with his 200 views and shit. You know what I'm saying?
I redo it, man, but I'm just saying that don't make any sense. This was supposed to be right here. Did the European Greeks write the New Testament? He didn't show up. So
hey,
I'm done.
They got this goofy nigga over here now. You know, I bet you any amount of money, Chris, either make a video about you already, or he about to.
I don't even care, man. I'm done. Like I said, man, I'm burnt out on this shit, bro. Excuse my language. You know, it just take a toll after a while, man. It's just let somebody else do it. I'm gonna kick back. You know, I sit back and watch, but who you gonna debate?
I mean, ain't nobody debating. They all gonna run,
right? So I mean,
you know, they can't. I mean, come on, man. They can't have nobody. Washington. They can't have nobody tearing their ass up on camera like that. Not with some real shit.
I want Tahuti. I called Tahuti. Won't even answer my calls no more. I want Tahuti to come on here and tell us how I don't even understand where he was coming from. But he said the Greeks wrote it. Where's the information? I'm
Man,
sure.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna be honest with you. That thing ain't never got to come back over here. You know what I'm saying? To me, because like I told him in the debate, man, I'm not asking you nothing, man, to learn nothing from you, dog. I'm asking you to see where we can come at with a topic for debate, bro. Right. You know, I don't know what you thinking, man. The fuck?
Yeah, man. You know, like I said, these guys just want to, I don't know, propaganda shows, but when it's time to do it, they just like, it's an excuse. And then here comes something, that's why nobody want to debate you and Black Jesus minister. Man, shut up with that false narrative, bro. These supposed to be your top guys. Where they at? You know, so yeah, man. That what happened today, man. And then you called me for this bullshit. You take time from me, from my family, and then your guy don't show up. So I said, well, at least let me go read my information. And then you interrupt after the 10th slide when I got to talk about the folly and shit that you was doing. You always turn people down. You always mute them. Don't act like you don't do that. That's what you was doing. Then, the Most High most don't want to hear you. Man, stop that bullshit, bro. But if that's where the direction your show is going,
that can't be so, because we finna go live soon as we get up off of here, buddy. The truth gonna be told. It just ain't gonna be told over here.
Yeah, on your show. On Starnet TV, yeah. Because there ain't no truth coming out over there, man. Like you said, it's all biased. You could be wrong in 2 left shoes and they still gonna agree with your ass.
Well, so, I heard I was listening to Starnet on one of these shows. You know, I've been studying them guys over there, you know what I'm saying? You know, just to see, you know, what angle they gonna come at, or to predict which one of them niggas gonna call in and say some stupid shit. You know what I'm saying? You know, but man,
I'm talking about, man. It was like, because you know the conversation, it was like a lot of built up energy. Like, okay, we finna get it in. I said, as a matter of fact, be ready by 9 o'clock today. So I still would have been working on this PowerPoint. I would have been already, would have had way more to it, man. But I just, like I say, I knew he wasn't gonna show up. What do he got to bring? Is there anything out there? Hold on, is there anything out there saying Greeks did translated this? I haven't seen anything. Every time I look, I don't find nothing. So what do they have to back up their claim? That's what I want to know. That's what I was interested to see.
Yeah, I was over here kind of trying to do something at the same, got my thoughts kind of jarred up. But yeah, he said, Sarnetta said that he said it, that he'll lie for his people on the camera. He'll cheat for his people can say something wrong and don't be right, and he's still gonna cheer for him. He said because that's what the Hebrews do. He said that they'll sit up there and cheer for each other, and then go home later and then talk about, yeah, I didn't agree with that shit you said. This and that.
That's not true. Because if it's something on that show, if a Hebrew say something, it could be Divine Prospect, it could be Tazariak, it could be whoever. So we don't all agree because they challenge me on stuff, I challenge them. We don't gotta hold hands. We just trying to get the correct truth and the right
Yeah,
information out.
We stand. It's the united we stand, divided we fall. When we standing on certain principles, we can stand on that. But when y'all niggas get to talk, I mean, for one, I'm secure, so can't nobody say nothing to scare me or threaten me as far as religious beliefs go. So all that shit that people be saying, man, that I don't agree with, I just don't agree with it. I ain't got to fight about it. Do we got to fight about it? Do I gotta hate you about it?
Hey, but Yasha, man, we're gonna have to continue this, man, another day, man, because it's gonna be movie night, man. It's 8:12 here. I'm gonna shut it down, man. But yeah, I'm taking a break on debating for. I'm done. Hey, who they got? Y'all promoting Chris to be this big bad debater, but he's ran from everybody over here. He ran from Jeremiah, please say the Yah. He ran from Tahuti when I tried to set that up. He ran from Yasha ben Israel. He ran from me twice.
He want to run to. He want to run. He don't care about wins and losses. He want to be seen, man, and he want to go to the Israelites that's gonna get him views. You dig what I'm saying? That's what he want. That's why he on Sarnetta's phallus, Egypt Kemet style. You know how them niggas be rubbing each other's balls, big Kemet.
Yeah.
Look at the hieroglyphics.
Right. Hey, but with that being said, let's go ahead and end this. You got any final words? And if not, Karima, can you end it with that song again? That song was fire. You know what I'm saying? But like I say, man, I was just trying to bring some kind of, another side of this discussion when they keep saying that these European Greeks wrote this. And all out through what I'm reading, they kept it in house. You know what I'm saying? It was like Hebrew and how you say Aramaic. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. I didn't see where did the Greek slip in. I didn't see I haven't found any Greek writing any. I just ain't seen nothing.
There's nothing out there to support that. There's nothing out there to support that.
But they bottom damn lip. That's it. They bottom lip
nothing. Support. Man, I've been studying history, hard body, bro. You hear me? Hard body. You dig? And that stuff ain't there, bro. It's just not there. It's a lie. It's all made up, man. It's conjecture, guesswork, bro. They guess they made this shit up.
And that's what they do.
There's nothing in history to support almost none of these lies these niggas say. That's why they don't have no sources. That's why they be filibustering. Right. You understand what I'm saying? They'll sit up there, man, and hold the mic like Chris do. Hold the mic 20 damn minutes, 5 minutes, and run down 1,000 issues and then want you to address. Man, that's filibustering, bro.
But with that being said, we finna go and close out, man. Appreciate the ones that came in and checked this out. I hope y'all go back and watch the information again. I'm sorry it wasn't really a full presentation, but it was for that challenge. And dude did not step up. He signed up for this debate. You actually have lost to me and Terry. That's just it.
Hey, I tell you what, be on the lookout. Be on the lookout, man, because these Negroes might be out here. It could get out, man, that he ran you out of business.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, hey, I retired that nigga.
Oh, you think that's what? Nah, bro, there ain't nobody to debate. Now, I talked to Garfield. Garfield called me today, man. But, I'm cool with it, man. I'm done, man. He ain't retired. How he retired, man? He didn't show up for the debate. He got retired. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You don't show
All
up for
right,
the debate.
man.
Hey, you lose.
All right, man.
With that being
Let's
said,
go
we
and
out of here,
shut it
man.
down.
Yep, peace and blessings. One.
Yeah, it's about to go from us reading about these prophecies to us having to face everything that we ever feared. It's war. Can't hear what you can't see. You know what I mean? On one accord. Gird up. This moment you've been waiting for, huh? I got you. My helmet, my shield, my sword, it's war. My breastplate, my brothers on one accord. I'm waist deep in this truth. I gird my loins, my feet shod with that gospel of peace. But it's war. My helmet, my shield, my sword, it's war. My breastplate, my brothers on one accord. I'm waist deep in this truth. I gird my loins, my feet shod with that gospel of peace. But it's war. Whoa, 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 we going all of the way. They know a certain number gon' get sealed, so they talking to faith. Why they keep bothering Jake? This is the gospel of peace. Why they keep calling it hate? Maybe cause they can hardly relate. We got a lot on our plate. Aki, I'm too busy fighting these demons. I am not trying to debate. 4 horsemen is mounting up. We at the start of the race. All gas, no brakes. All faith, no love. We can't slow up. Why you pray so much? Cause I'm thankful we could've died, but he put his grace on us. Fear the most high, do the commands, that's the way to show love. You know the wicked gon' target us, that's why we gotta stay armored up. Yeah, my helmet, my shield, my sword, it's war. My breastplate, my brothers on one accord. I'm waist deep in this truth. I gird my loins, my feet shod with that gospel of peace. But it's war. My helmet, my shield, my sword, it's war. My breastplate, my brothers on one accord. I'm waist deep in this truth. I gird my loins, my feet shod with that gospel of peace. But it's war. I'm wide awake. I open my eyes. We at the end of time. Thankful that I'm alive. I'ma show me a sign, send forth an angel. If you don't do it, who else gon' save us? Fight a good fight of faith. Kingdom coming, can't wait. I pray I make it in when I finally see the Savior. I don't know what I would say to him. Pray, don't say depart from me. Think it's sweet, better think again. Shaking these demons up off of me. How we living like it ain't the end. This battle was spiritual. I pray these lyrics give you a visual. Confirmation after confirmation. I guess it was meant for you. Give Abba the glory. Still on the throne. They don't believe, but they gon' see. The armor is on me. My helmet, my shield, my sword, it's war. My breastplate, my brothers on one accord. I'm waist deep in this truth. I gird my loins, my feet shod with that gospel of peace. But it's war. My helmet, my shield, my sword, it's war. My breastplate, my brothers on one accord. I'm waist deep in this truth. I gird my loins, my feet shod with that gospel of peace.